What's happening, my friends? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JPT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Mazik, the Mighty Rise Podcast, hashtag JBT. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Dorian. Today, the life and career of Ken Norton. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Dorian, bringing you all that boxing history. That's right, boxing, the greatest sport of them all. And that's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Boxing. Bruce Gas, Cannabis Education, Entertainment TV. Salute. How is everyone doing this Friday afternoon edition of Cast Sports the Box Story? Trump in the building. Salute, Trump. How are you today? Good to see you again. Yep, I like that name. Bruce Gas, Cannabis Education, and Entertainment TV. And I can't think of anybody else to give you a cannabis education better than Bruce Gas. Salute, Bruce Gas. Yeah, that's the same Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, history, and more. How's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? We're going to be talking about Ken Norton today. Salute, Joe. Joe is in the building. Another boxing historian. Pay attention to the chat during the show because Joe will have a steady stream of boxing history going on. You know, like I said, birds of a feather flock together. Now, all of a sudden, my chat is full of historians. And I love it. The JBT meet and greet is this weekend. You still got a couple more days to win that 55-inch color TV. The Cash App is pinned in there. $ JBT Network, all caps #1. The drawing is Sunday, July the 14th. You do not have to be present to win it. All you got to do is send your $10, and you're really going to win it for $9 because we are going to send $1 back notifying the winner that they are the winner, and then just wait for your TV. We are taking care of all the shipping and handling all of that. All you got to do is wait for your TV. Okay. J.C. Chavez birthday today, Joe. Julio Cesar. Okay. We done had some birthdays all week this week. We had the anniversary of Jack Dempsey winning the championship last week, July 4th, 1919. And then, was it yesterday was Jake LaMotta's birthday, the Raging Bull. And by the way, Jake LaMotta is the profile next Friday. And today, there it is, Julio Cesar Chavez's birthday. Wow. BN Boxing News in the building. Luke BN Boxing News. How are you today, bro? And we got the Chocolatito tonight. ESPN Plus, I believe. Yeah. Roman Gonzalez back in the building. Back in the ring, excuse me. No, Chocolatito's not in here. He's back in the ring tonight. Yep. I thought he had retired, but nope. This will be his first fight since the trilogy, the third fight of the trilogy against Juan Francisco Gonzalez in 2022. Remember, it was also Juan Francisco's first fight when Bam beat him a couple weeks ago. So yeah, both had been out of the ring for a while, but they're both back in there now. Chocolatito tonight. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Roman Gonzalez back in action. And then of course tomorrow the 2 cards. Who's the other one? Is it Janabeck? I know the one in Philly, but the JBT meet and greet is around. It's Gerard Ennis versus David Abenigin. And give David Abenigin his props because he's getting in there with boots. Something a lot of them wouldn't do. Cody got out of his fight with him. Cody said something with his eyes and stuff. I don't believe it. Cody just didn't want to fight boots. They had offered him last year 10 times more than he had ever made to fight Boots, and they turned that down. Then he finally accepted it. But y'all saw the press conference. Cody mine was working right then. How can I get out of this shit, man? And he got out of it. But maybe he did fail the eye test. I don't know. But David Abenigin is getting in there with him. And it's a good card because Sky Nicholson, nice young female fighter on the card, man. Sky and she's a WBC featherweight champion for the women. And she's a very good young fighter. She has that jab, man. Busy jab, busy long jab, and excellent footwork. You'll see. I think Jay said he interviewed her yesterday, Sky Nicholson. I forgot where she was from. Is it Australia? Somewhere overseas. But she's in Philly. Mm-hmm. And Jaleel Hackett on the card. Jaleel is going up against Peter Dobson. They had a little incident at the presser yesterday. The Boxing Menu Podcast in the building. What's the Boxing Menu Podcast Plus? Well, the Boxing Menu Podcast. He's dropped the plus. But it used to be plus because he had started a new channel. But salute Boxing Menu Podcast. Good to see you, bro. Pulling up for the Ken Norton profile. Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna go in deep on those 3 fights with Ali. That's I think that's one on the screen. But both of them wore the same thing in all 3 fights. They must have been superstitious. But I thought Ken won all 3 of them. But they gave 2 out of 3 to Ali. Now, the closest one was probably the second fight. If Ali won any of them, it would have been the second one. But no, I think Ken won all of them. Tim Layton, hashtag JBT. Yeah, Tim, I got that this morning from you. Appreciate you, nephew. Yeah. They had told me you had texted him. Yeah, if I had received it. Yes, I received it, Tim. Appreciate you 1,000%. Tim Layton, big time JBT member and supporter, you know. Yeah, Tim, appreciate you. But I did receive it, okay? And it's been noted. Yeah. And you are in the Tim is in the drawing for the 55-inch TV. Mm-hmm. Going to be a winner this Sunday. I'm anxious to see who it is. I started to get in it, but it won't be me. There's the Drunk Irishman. Salute, Drunk Irishman. Welcome to Cast Sports. Hope you stick around and enjoy the show. The profile on Ken Norton today. First time I've seen the Drunk Irishman. It's the first time. I hope it's not his last time. I gotta make it good so I can make him come back, you know. That's what you gotta do. But the life and career of Ken Norton, one of those legendary heavyweights from the golden era of the 70s. Mm-hmm. And Ken was one of those 4 heavyweights. I think it was 78. The WBC had 4 heavyweight champions in a 4-month span. Yep, 4 different champions in 4 months. Okay, see, it started out, Ali had it. Then he was beaten by Leon Spinks. Remember, Spinks only had 7 fights at the time. So then Spinks was the second one in the 4-month span. So then his mandatory was Norton. The WBC ordered Leon Spinks to fight Norton. But instead of fighting Norton, Leon Spinks gave Ali the rematch. So the WBC stripped Spinks. Norton became the 3rd champion in that 4-month span. And then Norton, in his first defense, fought Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes won that fight and became the 4th WBC champion in 4 months. Yeah, Bruce Gass and Joe remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that's the 70s was amazing though, man. Like I always say, the 95% of those guys that were champions in the 70s are in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, man. Roberto Duran, Esteban de Jesus. Esteban was the only one to beat Roberto in the 70s. I think Roberto was like 71-1 in the 70s. Yeah. And that fight he lost was at lightweight to Esteban. But guess what? They had a trilogy, and Roberto took the last 2 out of the 3. So he avenged that loss 2 times over. And we had Salvador Sanchez. I told you how amazing he was, man. I think he was 23 years old and died in a car accident. His career was cut short, nowhere near his prime. And he still thought of as legendary, arguably the best featherweight of all time, arguably the best Mexican fighter of all time, in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, and didn't come anywhere near his prime. Career cut short at 23. 23, when most fighters are usually leaving prospect status. This man was had a legendary Hall of Fame career by 23 years old, man. That's amazing. The legendary Salvador Sanchez. And he had that fight with Wilfredo Gomez. That's thought of as the official beginning of the Mexico-Puerto Rico rivalry. Salvador from Mexico won that one. Inca, back in the building. I've seen Inca before. Inca says Ali hated Kenny, but he took Ali girl at the bar one night. Wow. Yeah, I told you. I'm learning stuff too. I didn't know that. Damn, Ken took his girl and then beat him 3 times. Only got credit for one of them. So I guess Ali really hated him. Lost his girl to him and lost all 3 fights. But see, back at that time, that's where that phrase come from. You got to beat the champion. You got to take the champion's belt. You got to beat him convincingly, because that's how it was back then. Because Ali lost a few other times, but back in that time frame, close fight like that, the judges gave it to the champion. That's why you hear the older guys, boxing fans, saying, you got to beat the champ. You got to take the champion's belt, because that's how it was. Because Ken Norton beat Ali 3 times, but he only got credit for 1. The fight where he broke his jaw. They say it was in the 2nd round. Salute Ace. Ace is in the building. What's up, Ace? How are you today? Good to see you. Something like Devin. I don't understand that. But Ace says something like Devin. But salute, Ace. Good to see you today. And Norton is the profile today. And we're going to get started in about 5 or 10 minutes. I usually wait until 2:30. We got the Cash Sports phone line coming soon. And maybe we can get some call-ins early in the show. And then later too, when the subject of the show ends, drop the link or put the phone line on. But that's coming soon. Because I'm monetized now, and all the cash apps and stuff I get will go to the betterment of our channel, Yeah. This is Cash Sports, the Box Story, dropping boxing history over here. And we also got the punch of the week on Mondays. Like this week, it was the uppercut. I think it was last week. It was the hook? I believe it was the hook. Uppercut this week. Next Monday, we're going to talk about the combination. Okay. And then Wednesday is the show we take out of the chat. Next week, show is next Wednesday brought to you by DJ Rush. It's going to be a history of corruption in boxing. I got a lot about the mafia's involvement in it, because they was running the sport one time. They had the IBC, the International Boxing Club. That was like a sanctioning body that was run by the mafia, right? Oh, you said, okay, I feel you, Ace. Ace said she feels that Devin has had a Hall of Fame career already. Okay. Yeah, he's been undisputed. He maybe could stop now and get in there, yeah. Yeah, kind of agree with that, Ace. Yeah. Yeah, but then next Wednesday, a history of corruption in boxing and some of the worst judging decisions. We're going to have them because, like last Saturday, Oshaki and Kasasia, I don't call it bad judging. No judge is that bad. It's cheating, corruption. Not bad judging. It's corruption. And boxing has been corrupt for a long time. We know it. That's what it is. But we still love it because it's the only boxing we got. Right, but yeah, we got that next week. And of course, Thursday is always the Boxing in the States series. I'm going through boxing, history of boxing, and I talk about boxing in every state in the United States. We're up to, yesterday it was Colorado, so next week is Connecticut. And we always talk about a little history of boxing in the States, some significant events that occurred concerning boxing in the States. And of course, we always look at some fighters that was from that state, do a little short profile on them, talk about their careers a little. Yeah. And then remember, Jake LaMotta is a profile next week. And his birthday was yesterday. Yeah. His birthday was yesterday. Yeah. A few other fighters I think have had Hall of Fame careers already. Canelo's in. Nonito Donaire will definitely get in when he retired. Yeah. And Ace says like Devin. There's a few of them out there that has done Hall of Fame work. But you know, the Monster, Usyk, you know, all those guys are 2 division undisputed. The GOAT has held a Hall of Fame career. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. So there's a few active boxers that I think are shoe-in first ballot Hall of Famers. Yep, a few of them out there. Amanda's got something coming up, but it's not Katie Taylor. I had thought one time that her and Katie Taylor was scheduled for July, but this looks like it fell through. She's on the Jake Paul card, fighting somebody else. I was looking at it yesterday. Yep, no Amanda and Katie. Yeah, I wanted to see that again. I really wanted to see Katie and the lady that she had the 2 fights with. They both were majority decisions, close fights. Both of them was last year. And that series had trilogy written all over it, but nope, didn't happen. Still could happen though. Is it Michaela Mayer? Fought Katie twice last year, and I think Michaela won the first one, and Katie won the second one. Both real close fights, you know, back and forth action. And like I said, that series had trilogy written all over it, but we're not getting it. So that's boxing for you, though. Yeah. Okay, Boxing Menu podcast says they said that they was having blood problems behind the scenes with Bob Arum and Boston. Oh yeah, blood problems. Christy Martin, I think she's already in there. Boxing Menu podcast. I believe Christy Martin is in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, because she retired years ago. The coal miner's daughter. I had to check, but I think she's in. Joe or Bruce Gas probably could tell us. Is Christy Martin in the Hall of Fame, Joe? I think she already is. Jessica McCaskill? No, not yet. She fought earlier this year, I believe. Yeah. Jessica did. Yeah, not yet. Jessica was I think Jessica was undisputed in the 4-belt era too. She's one of the few people that took all 4 belts at one time. She took them from the I can't think of the lady name, foreign lady, and it's actually only one man. They won all 4 belts at one time in the 4-belt undisputed era, and that was Jermaine Taylor when he beat B-Hop. You know, the rest of them got them 2 here, 1 there, 1 there, but yeah, Jermaine Taylor is the only man. And I'm not sure about the women, but I know Jessica McCaskill is one of them that took all 4 belts at one time. I can't think of the lady's name, but I can't pronounce it anyway. I think she's Swedish, from Sweden. Yeah, she was undisputed for a long time. She was actually the first woman to become undisputed. If I can look it up real quick, then we're gonna get started. Yeah, she was the first woman, not the GOAT. Now the GOAT was the first one to be 2-time undisputed in the 4-belt era. I'm going to tell you this lady's name, then we're going to get started. That's who Jessica McCaskill took her undisputed from, and she took all 4 belts at one time. Yeah. It's coming to me too. That's where we got Google. Back in the old days, you used to have an argument with somebody. You had to wait weeks, maybe months to find out who won the argument. But now, just hit Google, find out in minutes. Yeah. Who puts Google together? That is amazing. All the information just right at your fingertips in minutes, seconds, really fast as you can type. No, not her. They're telling me the wrong person. They say Michaela Lauren. Yo, anybody got it? Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? I got her name written down in some notes. I did a show on all the 4-belt undisputed a while back. She's in there, but I can't think of her name. But yeah, she was the first woman to be 4-belt. I believe she is from Sweden. Let's get ready to talk about Ken Norton. Just Do Boxing in the building. Coming up at 4 p.m. with all that fire, boxing talk, everything that's going on in boxing nowadays, you know, balanced, unbiased talk. And he had a great show yesterday, you know. I can't even remember the guy's name he had on there, but he had a great show yesterday. Fire. I was listening in. Yeah. This dude gets some great interviews over there. Great interviews. What was the guy's name you had yesterday, Jess? I can't remember. You got a minute, drop it in the chat for me. You know, I'm old, I can't remember nothing happened 10 minutes ago. I sure can't remember from yesterday, but I know it was a fire interview. Yep. Even had Slick Shakur Stevenson on there. A guy named Kevin Johnson that fought last week. I think it's Kevin Johnson. He fought Calvin Davis last week. Yeah. Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. But today on Cast Sports is the life and career of Ken Norton. We are getting ready to get started on that. Hope everybody's okay. Ready for this big weekend we got coming up here. We're at it. And we got boxing tonight too, remember? Chocolatito. ESPN. Yep. I don't know who he's fighting. But he's back in there. Be interesting. So let's go with today's show. Hope everybody enjoys it. As always, I appreciate everybody rocking with me. As I always say, you could be anywhere doing anything, but you chose to be here with Cast Sports today, and I really appreciate it. Where's my cursor at? There's that big hands right there. Okay. Lonnie Lee will be here. Melanie Queen 27, Al Booger. Talked to Jay Hardcore earlier. He told me CED too. Keith Cologne, future world champion. Okay, is that who it was? Ace? Yeah, that's who it was. Thank you, Ace. Keith Cologne, future world champion. Yeah. Come on now. I can't read that little small handwriting. There it is. Okay. The life and career of Ken Norton. Got a little slide display for you. That's Ken and Ali on the screen there. I can't tell which fight because they both wore the same thing all 3 fights. You know, Ali wore his classic white shorts with the thin black line down the side. He got that from Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray used to always wear that. Al Booger. I told you Al Booger was coming. Told you I got ESPN. I can see into the future. I don't have ESP, I got ESPN. It's like yesterday. I mentioned DJ Rush, and he popped right in the building. I just mentioned Al Booger not even 2 minutes ago, and there he is. Salute, AB. How are you today, bro? Welcome. Good to see you. But yeah, the Ace put it in there. Keith Cologne was on there yesterday on The Voice. Yeah. Future world champion, too. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about it. We're going to talk about a former world champion right now, Ken Norton. I don't think Ken had a nickname. I can't remember a nickname. Any of the historians in the chat remember if Ken Norton had a nickname? I don't think so. I never heard it if he did. Nope. Just like Shakur Stevenson don't have a nickname, so I gave him one. Slick Shakur Stevenson. That would be a good one because he is slick. Yeah. From Shakur the Snake Stevenson. I like slick better. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. Kenneth Howard Norton. Okay, he was born August 9th, 1943, right? American professional boxer. And he competed from 1967 to 1981. Okay? He had a 14-year career. Now, he was, like I was just saying, he was awarded the WBC World Championship, World Heavyweight title in 1978. Okay? That was after he won a close split decision against Jimmy Young in a title eliminator fight, right? And the winner of that fight was supposed to fight Leon Spinks, and Leon Spinks chose to give Ali the rematch, right? Leon probably said Ken Norton or a rematch with Ali. What's the bigger bag? Of course it was the rematch with Ali, but the WBC stripped him and gave the title to Norton, okay? Norton was like the third heavyweight WBC champion in that 4-month span. Remember, it was 4 of them. Larry Holmes was the 4th one when he beat Norton. Now, Ken fought out of the orthodox stance, right? He was 6 feet 3 inches tall, had a reach of 80 inches. Okay. The Black Hercules, the Jawbreaker, the Fighting Marine. Okay. There's Ken Norton's nicknames from Bruce Gas. Told you my chat is full of historians. Oh, that's a good one too, Ace. Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, that would be good. Triple S. Yeah, that's a good one. Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. Yeah, told you I was full of this chat is full of historians though. There's some nicknames for Ken Norton. The Black Hercules, the Jawbreaker, and the Fighting Marine. You know where he got the Jawbreaker from? Because you know whose jaw he broke, Muhammad Ali. Thank you, Bruce Gas. Now, Ken had a total of 50 fights on the dot, right? Now, he won 42. He lost 7, had 1 draw, and he won 33 fights by way of knockout, the Fighting Marine. And he was in the Marine Corps. And I'm going to tell you about it. I was in the Air Force, right? And Ken Norton was in the same job field that I was in, went to the same base for his training. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. We did the same job in the military. Of course, he was a few years ahead of me, but yeah, that's something. We did the same job. We're going to talk about that now. Ken is best known for his 3 fights with Muhammad Ali, right? In which Norton won the first fight by split decision. He lost the second one by split decision. And he lost the third fight by a very, very, very controversial unanimous decision. Personally, I thought he won all of them. If Ali won any of them, it would have been the second fight. But I thought Ken won all 3 fights, okay? But that third one was a very controversial unanimous decision. Now, he had a slugfest with Larry Holmes in 1978. That was the first defense of his title, right? And he narrowly lost by split decision to Holmes and the WBC title. And that's when Holmes became the 4th WBC champion in a 4-month span. Yep. Now, if you end up watching old fights, that's a good one. Ken Norton and Larry Holmes, 1978. Slugfest, very close fight. Very narrow split decision win by Larry Holmes. I wish Thomas Hill or Ant McQueen was in here. That would be an excellent fight for them to break down. They do old fights sometimes. From Casual's Corner, yeah, one of them pop in. I'm going to mention that to them too. I'll even come up there and help them do it. Yeah, but that was a great fight between him and Holmes. He lost a very narrow split decision to Larry Holmes that night. And we're going to talk about the Ali fights, Holmes fights. I'm just touching on it now. We're going to go in depth on them in a little while later on in the show, okay? Now, Norton retired from boxing in 1981, right? And he went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1992. Okay. Now let's take a look at his early life. Take a look at Ken's early life. Okay. Now he was an outstanding athlete in high school with the Jacksonville High School in Jacksonville, Illinois, right? He made the all-state football team on defense as a senior in 1960. And check this out. His track coach entered him in 8 events in track. Norton came in first place in 7 of them. And in that state of Illinois, that forced them to come up with something called the Norton rule, which is any time in track and field, from then on in track and field, an athlete could only participate in a maximum of 4 events. That was the Norton rule, because Ken Norton was in 8, came in first in 7 of them, and right after that, they made the Norton rule in track and field in Illinois. You can only participate in 4 track and field events at any meet after that. The Norton rule. Very, very talented athlete. Very versatile athlete in high school. And after he graduated from high school, he went to Northeast Missouri State University. That's now called Truman State University out there in Missouri, right? And he went there on a football scholarship, okay? Probably could have got a track and field scholarship, but he went there on a football scholarship. And he studied elementary education, while he was there. In an interview with ESPN magazine in 1985, Norton said that if he hadn't taken up boxing, he would have become a teacher or a police officer. Okay? Let's look at the amateurs. Look at what Ken did in the amateur. Very decorated amateur career, by the way. Okay? Now, he enlisted into the United States Marine Corps after leaving the college. Okay, went into the Marine Corps after leaving Southeast Missouri State University. And he served from 1963 to 1967. Now, Norton was a manual Morse intercept operator. Graduated from NCTC Coy Station in Pensacola, Florida. And that's where I went. Now, see, I didn't copy Morse code, but I was in that field. We had people doing Ken's job at the bases I was at. They would sit there and listen to Morse code and copy, the diddy dot did. Now, intercepting foreign communications, what I did, I used equipment to intercept it and print it out on the printer. But it was the same job field. Okay? We would call down the printer systems operator. But I was at that same place, Cory Station, Pensacola, Florida, the NCTC. Ken was there before me, though. I was there in the late 70s. Now, during his time in the Marine Corps, Ken took up boxing. Okay, that's where he started boxing, in the Corps, Marine Corps. And he had a record of he had 26 fights, and he won 24 of them, 20.2. And he won 3 All-Marine heavyweight titles. Yep. And in time, he became the best boxer to ever fight for the Marine Corps. Best boxer to ever fight in the Marine Corps, Ken Norton. And he also was awarded the North Carolina AAU Golden Gloves title, International AAU title, and Pan American titles also. And following the National AAU finals in 1967, that's when Ken turned professional. Okay? Let's go into Ken Norton's professional career now. Everybody smashing on the appreciation button for me, please. Okay, we're going to talk about Ken in the pros. Okay. Is the music okay? Not too loud, is it? Again, that's where Bill Knuckles would have came in at. He could have told me by now, turn it down. Yeah, that's better. Much better. I didn't mean to be blasting y'all out. Okay. Professional career. Now, early in his career, he built up a steady stream of wins, right? Now, some of them was against journeyman fighters, and others were over fringe contenders, like Jack O'Halloran, who he beat him early in his career. Now, surprisingly, he lost to in 1970, just after the Ring magazine had profiled him as a prospect. He lost to Venezuelan boxer, Jose Luis Garcia. Okay. And that's not a very good picture there, but that was supposed to be Jose and Ken, but they get better. That's all I could find. Surprisingly, he lost to Jose early in his career. Okay. But he did beat him later. And Jose was unknown at the time. But 5 years later, they had a rematch, and Norton overpowered him. And they were both rated contenders 5 years later when they fought. Yep. And he was given this book, the motivational book called Think and Grow Rich, and it was written by Napoleon Hill. And he said that book changed his life dramatically. He said he was going to fight Muhammad Ali. He was a green fighter, but yet he won. And then he's saying that came all from reading that book. And upon reading Think and Grow Rich, after reading that book, he went on a 14-fight winning streak, including the victory over Muhammad Ali in 1973. And in that fight, he won the North American Boxing Federation Heavyweight Championship title. And he said, these words from the book were the final inspiration in his victory over Ali. And the words were, life's battles don't always go to the strongest or fastest man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Okay? And he also took a complete course by the guy that wrote the book, Napoleon Hill, on gaining wealth and peace of mind. And Ken said it can be related to anybody to be the best in a career, to think positive. Okay? Now let's look at Ali 1 and 2. First fights against Muhammad Ali 1 and Muhammad Ali 2 coming up. BVO Boxing TV in the building. Salute BVO Boxing TV. How are you today? BVO Boxing TV is picking David Avenesian. No, he isn't. I'm just picking with him. But he's picking Madrimov over Bud. Yep. I asked BVO, was he picking David Avenesian? He asked me, he said, do you think I'm crazy? Yeah, but salute BVO. Welcome. Okay, Norton versus Ali 1 and 2. Let's take a look at that. Now, his first big break came with a clear win over respected contender Henry Clark, which helped him gain world recognition. And his big break was when Muhammad Ali agreed to a fight with him, okay? And Joe Frazier, who sparred with Norton and defeated Ali, said of Ali, he'll have plenty of trouble with Norton, okay? That's what Smoking Joe said about Norton and Ali before the fight when Norton beat him. Smoking Joe called it. He said Ali was going to have plenty of trouble with Norton, and he did in all 3 fights. Because Smoking Joe had fought Ali, and he had sparred Norton. Yeah, so he saw something in that. Al Booker says Avenesian has 0 chance. He has a puncher's. He don't even have a puncher's chance, Al Booker? Okay, Al Booker said 0, not even a puncher's chance. I concur. Okay. Yeah, Joe Frazier said Ali was going to have plenty of trouble with Norton, and he did in all 3 fights. Now, Norton and Frazier were both top fighters during the 1970s, but they never fought, right? Never fought each other. And part of the reason was they had the same trainer, Eddie Futch, right? And also, they were very good friends, and they never wanted to fight each other, and they never did. Now, Norton and Ali's first fight was March 31st, 1973, okay? And Ali, the robe Ali wore to the ring in that fight was given to him by Elvis Presley. Okay, and it was a 1-5 favorite over Norton. And Norton was ranked number 6 in the world at that time. Okay, and the fight was televised on ABC's Wide World of Sports. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. ABC's Wide World of Sports. You know, that was the big boxing network back around that time. Yep. We only had 3 channels: ABC, NBC, and CBS. That was it. We didn't have no cable, none of that. We had something called Super TV was coming around. That was the cable. But yeah, basically 3 channels: ABC, NBC, CBS. And ABC was the big boxing channel at that time. Bruce Gass will tell you. Joe too. Okay. Now, Norton won a 12-round split decision over Ali. And the fight was in Norton's adopted hometown of San Diego, California. And that was the fight, like I said before. He won the North American Boxing Federation heavyweight title in that fight. Now, in the fight, Norton broke Ali's jaw in the 2nd round, right? And that caused Ali to fight defensively for the rest of the fight. 12 rounds for the last 10 rounds. Ali was on the defense. You got a broken jaw. You're going to be on the defense. You ain't trying to get hit in the jaw no more. But he fought 10 rounds with it. Amazing. And that loss was only the 2nd loss in Ali's career. Remember, the first was in the fight of the century against Joe Frazier. Yep, only his 2nd loss. Yep. And Ali would later go on to defeat George Foreman to regain the title in 1974, right? Now, almost 6 months later was the rematch, Ali Norton 2, okay? And this was on September 10th, 1973. This one was at the Forum in Inglewood, California, home of the Lakers. Now, Norton came in this time at 206, and he was 5 pounds lighter than the first fight with Ali. And some boxing writers suggested that Norton's preparation was too intense and that he might have overtrained for that fight. But I think he still won it. Now, there were some furious exchanges in the fight. It was a hard-fought battle, a lot of furious exchanges. And from Ali's point of view, if he would have lost this fight, this would have seriously put a dent in his claim of being called the greatest. I still call Joe Louis the greatest, though. Anyway, you got to look at Joe Louis and that 12-year reign and the stuff he was doing during that 12-year reign, man. He was doing greatest type stuff. But yeah, Ali felt that if he would have lost that fight, that would have put a serious dent into his claim of being the greatest. He had back-to-back losses to the same man. And during the fight, during ABC's broadcast of the fight, Howard Cosell, close friend of Ali's, repeatedly told viewers, dancing and jabbing Ali was dominating the action, which wasn't true, because Norton was constantly preventing Ali to penetrate his awkward crab-like cross-swarm defensive style. So I don't know what Howard Cosell was talking about, but he was Ali's friend. Sort of like what ESPN does, Tim Bradley and his buddies do on ESPN. They saying one thing and you wondering if they calling the same fight you watching. That's what Howard Cosell was doing for his buddy Ali during that fight. Yeah. Trying to talk him to the win. Yeah, but I thought Norton won, but Ali did get the win, right? And the scoring and decision given to Ali was very controversial. Okay. Then the next big fight after Ali was Big George Foreman. There's Big George in 10 right there. So BVO, you say Ali is 3rd behind Joe Louis and Sam Langford. Okay. Definitely behind Joe Louis. To me, as far as I'm concerned. No question about that. Okay. Now, Norton versus Big George Foreman. And this fight was in 1974. And he was going for the world championship against Foreman. And this fight was in Venezuela, right? And Foreman got him out of there in the 2nd round. Now, the first round was pretty even. And then in the second round, Foreman staggered Norton with an uppercut, right? And Norton never really recovered from that. The uppercut sent Norton into the ropes. And he didn't go down that time, but he continued on and his legs was wobbly, okay? And after that, he went down 2 more times after the uppercut hurt him. And after the second time, the referee stepped in there and stopped it. Okay? Yeah. So Big George got him out in the second round. So he failed to win the title there. There's Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? Salute. Good to see you today, bro. Life and career of Ken Norton. Okay. After Foreman, next big fight was Jerry Corey. Okay? One of the Corey brothers. There was 3 of them. Mike, got the other one's name. But Jerry was the most famous of the 3. They had the best career out of the 3. But Norton versus Corey. Okay. There's Norton and Jerry Corey right there. Okay. Norton versus Corey. This fight was in 1975. And he won back the North American Boxing Federation heavyweight title. I think this is like the 3rd time he had it. Okay, won that back from Jerry Corey in this fight. And it was a fifth round TKO is how he beat Corey. And that's when, remember I told you he lost to Jose Luis Garcia early in his career. After the Corey fight, that's when he had his rematch with Jose Luis Garcia. And he knocked him out in the 5th round to avenge that loss. Okay? And then the next big fight after that, he got another crack at Ali. Okay? Norton Ali number 3. Norton Ali 3. And I thought he won this one too, but the judges is who counts. And the judges didn't think so. But this fight was on September 18th, 1976. Yankee Stadium, New York City. Okay? Norton versus Ali 3. This was the final fight. Now they was trying to get a 4th one. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But this was the last one, the 3rd fight. Okay? Now Ali, like I told you, he had got the World Heavyweight Championship back by that time from George Foreman, remember? The rope-a-dope fight in the Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire, right? So he was once again fighting for the title against Ali this time again. Now many observers felt this was the fight that marked the beginning of Ali's decline as a fighter, right? And this fight with Norton was a tough, bruising battle for Ali. And this is one of the most disputed fights in boxing history. Okay? One of the most disputed fights in boxing history. Okay? Now, yeah. Now, the fight was even on the judges' scorecards going into the 15th and final round. And Ali, there was 2 judges scoring the fight and the referee at this time. And Ali won on both the referee and judges' scorecards. It was unanimous, right, to retain his championship. Now, the 2 judges, Harold Letterman, it's Harold Letterman that does the unofficial score on one of those networks. That can't be the same. Well, maybe that's his father. But anyway, Judge Harold Letterman and Barney Smith both scored the fight 8 rounds to 7 in Ali's favor. Because remember, after 14 rounds, it was 7-7. And the referee, Arthur McCante, had 8 rounds for Ali, 6 rounds for Norton, and 1 even. Okay? At the end of the last round, the commentator announced before the judges gave in the scorecards, it wasn't Howard Cosell this time. The commentator, whoever it was, said he would be very surprised if Norton did not get this decision. So I guess he was surprised. I was too. I saw it. At the time of this fight, now let's check this out. Listen to this. This is what I'm telling you about. Back around that time, you had to really beat a champion to take his belt. That's where all the old heads say that nowadays, but that was the thing. But listen to this. At the time of this fight, The last time a heavyweight champion had lost his title by decision was Max Baer against Jimmy Braddock 41 years earlier, okay, in 1945. That was the last time a heavyweight champion had lost by decision. And you know, in 41 years, a heavyweight champion had been beaten by decision, but not convincingly enough for the judges to give it to him. So back around that time, that was the thing. You had to convincingly beat a champion. You just wasn't getting no split decisions or anything like that from champions, okay? So it was 41 years since the last time a heavyweight champion had lost by decision. Ali didn't that night. That's why we always hear a lot of older guys say nowadays, you got to convincingly beat a champion. It's not like that anymore, but back then it was. It just was, okay? So, yeah, I told you the scores for it. And we had some of the newspaper guys scored the fight. The United Press International had it 8-7 for Norton, okay? And the unofficial Associated Press scorecards were Ed Schuyler had it 9-6 for Ali. Wick Temple had it 8-7 for Norton. Now I had told you that all three was for Norton yesterday, remember? But two of the three newspaper guys at ringside that was unofficially scoring the fight, 2 of the 3 had it for Norton, okay? Cass Sports had it for Norton too. And despite getting the win, Ali received a pounding in that fight. Now, Ali was trying to push Norton back, but that had failed, okay? And he didn't start dancing until the 9th round. And Norton had said after that fight that the third fight with Ali was the last fight for which he was fully motivated, owing to the disappointment of having lost a fight that he knew he had clearly won. Yep. That was the third fight against Muhammad Ali, one of the biggest robberies in boxing history. No doubt about that. Yeah. Oh, you say Norton too, BVO? Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was, Alberga. You had to clearly beat him. Nowadays, it's not like that, though. You see people getting like Facial. Just look at last Saturday. If that fight had been back in the 70s, ain't no way possible Facial gets that decision. No, and he didn't deserve it now. But back in the 70s, when you clearly had to beat the champion, no way Facial gets that. But Alberga, like it's not like that nowadays. You don't have to clearly beat him. You don't even have to beat him. Well, Shaki was the champion, and they cheated and gave it to Facial. But let's move on. After the Ali, in 1977, Norton knocked out previously unbeaten top prospect Dwayne Barbic in 1 round. Then he went up against the European champion Lorenzo Zanon. There's him and Lorenzo right there. Okay, Ken Norton, Lorenzo Zanon. He beat Lorenzo Zanon. That was a tune-up fight. Zanon was a light-hitting fighter, but it was the European champion. Okay, and that was a tune-up fight for Norton. Okay, and then he defeated number 2 contender Jimmy Young after that. Okay, there's Jimmy Young and Norton. There's Jimmy Young and Ken Norton. He fought him after the Zanon fight. Young was number 2 contender at the time. And Young had beaten George Foreman, right? And gave George Foreman his second loss before that fight. That's a good fight too, Jimmy Young and George Norton. And Young had also beat Ron Lyle twice, okay? He beat Ron Lyle by a 15-round split decision. That was a WBC title eliminator. And the winner was to face Ali. Oh, wait a minute. I done got off track. The fight between Jimmy Young and Norton was a WBC title elimination fight. And the winner was supposed to face Ali, right? It would have been Norton's 4th time going up against Ali. But Ali's camp told the Ring magazine, guess what? They did not want to fight Norton again. And you know why? Because they had never beaten him. And they wasn't going to keep on getting those controversial decisions. So Ali said, no, I am not fighting Ken Norton anymore. Now against Jimmy Young, both of the guys fought a very good fight. And Norton used a heavy body attack while Young moved well and countered well. Now the decision was controversial, with many observers thinking Young had done enough to win, but they gave the decision to Norton. So that was the title eliminator to fight Ali. Now if Jimmy Young had won, Ali probably would have fought him, but Norton won and he did not get the fight with Ali. Joe says Jimmy Young was robbed. That's what a lot of people thought, Joe. A lot of people thought that Young was robbed, but they gave it to Norton. Now, although Norton was expected to face Ali for a fourth time because he won the title eliminator, right? Just like my man Barroso won the title eliminator for Rolly's belt, but Pitbull got the fight, remember? So Norton won the title eliminator and was expected to face Ali for a fourth time to go for the WBC Heavyweight Championship. But guess who Ali fought instead? He fought Leon Spinks, February 15th, 1978. That was when the WBC ordered the fight after Spinks beat Ali. Since Norton had beat Young, the WBC ordered Spinks to fight Norton. Okay, but Spinks fought Ali, which was no doubt the bigger money fight, you know. So that's when the WBC, Norton was the number one contender. Spinks chose to face Ali for his first title defense instead of Norton. So the WBC responded on March 18th, 1978 by giving the title fight to Norton, okay, because of his victory over Jimmy Young, right? And the heavyweight WBA and WBC split for the first time since Jimmy Ellis and Joe Frazier were both recognized as champions in the early 70s. Okay, the WBA kept recognizing Spinks as champion, but the WBC gave their title to Norton, okay? So his next big fight after that, after the WBC gave him the title, he defended his first defense was against Larry Holmes. Now I know his nickname, the Eastern Assassin. Yeah, Ali was cherry picking BVO, no doubt. He fought Spinks, who only had 7 fights at the time. Okay, only had 7 fights, right? But Spinks beat him, yeah. But Norton's next fight was Holmes, his first defense after beating Jimmy Young and becoming the number one contender. And then the WBC stripped Spinks and gave it to Norton. His first defense was against Larry Holmes. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta take a drink. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Now, Norton versus Larry Holmes. There they go right there on the screen. Hope everybody enjoying the show. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Really appreciate it, 1000%. Norton versus Holmes, okay? Now, his first defense of the WBC title, this fight was on June 9th, 1978. And Holmes was the new number one contender. Remember? Because Norton was number one. And when Spinks didn't fight him, Norton became the champion. Holmes came up to number one, right? So this fight was on June 9th, 1978. And this was a brutal 15-round fight, okay? And Holmes got the decision. It was an very extremely close split decision. That's another good fight. If you like old fights, Larry Holmes, Ken Norton, 1978. Remember Ken Norton and George Foreman? When was that one? 76, something like that. Yeah, and Ken Norton and Larry Holmes. Ken Norton was in a lot of battles. That's why later in life, his speech was kind of slurred too. None of them got to the extent of Ali, but Norton had, he had trouble speaking too later in life, Yeah. He was in a lot of battles, man. Yes, he was. Especially the Foreman and Holmes fight. And Jimmy Young, yeah. Norton was in a lot of tough battles, man. Brutal fights. Which the Holmes fight was a brutal 15-round fight. But Holmes got the very, very extremely close split decision to take the title. 2 of the 3 judges scored the fight, 143-142. Because 15 rounds. You know, we used to 115, 113. That's 12. Still 15 rounds there. So Holmes, two of the judges had it 143, 142 for Holmes, while the third judge had it 143, 142 for Norton. Extremely close fight. Now the Associated Press had it 143, 142 for Norton. Okay? And the March 2001 edition of the Ring magazine listed the final round of this fight as the 7th most exciting round in boxing history. And the International Boxing Research Organization, one of their members, Marty D. Cox, ranked this fight as the 10th greatest heavyweight fight of all time. And Holmes, after this fight, Holmes went on to become the 3rd longest reigning world heavyweight champion in the history of boxing, behind Joe Louis and Vladimir Klitschko. And when Holmes did lose it to Michael Spinks, he was robbed, okay? He had the 3rd longest reign of all time, and he was robbed when he lost it. He beat Michael Spinks in both of those fights. What you think, Joe, BVO, Bruce Gas? I don't think Michael Spinks beat Holmes. Especially you, Joe. What you think about that one? Holmes and Michael Spinks. They gave both fights to Spinks, but I thought Holmes won both of them. Okay. Yeah, Holmes. Well, yeah, he was 3rd longest reign of all time behind Joe. Of course, Joe Louis did 12 years will never be broken. That's all of boxing, 12 years. And Vladimir Klitschko is number 2 at heavyweight. Now, years later, Holmes wrote that this fight with Norton was the toughest fight of his career. Of his 75-fight career, Larry Holmes said Norton was the toughest. Okay? Okay. Then his next big fight after that was the hard-hitting Ernie Shavers. You know, a lot of those heavyweights back from that era that fought Ernie Shavers tell you Ernie Shavers was the hardest guy they ever been hit by. You know, I told you the Sylvester Stallone story. You know, Ernie was auditioning for a part in Rocky, and after he hit Sylvester Stallone in the body, to make a long story short, he didn't get the part. Sylvester didn't even want to be taking punches from Ernie. So Sylvester told the producers or whoever, we got to get somebody else. Ernie can't have it. I'm sorry, Ernie. But he told Ernie was taking it easy on him, and Sylvester told Ernie to show him something, stop taking it easy. So that's what happened. Okay, Norton versus Shavers. There they are on the screen. Not Sylvester Stallone. Ken Norton versus Ernie Shavers. Okay. Now, after he lost to Holmes, he won his next fight by knockout over 6th-ranked Randy Stevens in 1978 before taking on legendary puncher Ernie Shavers. And this was another WBC title eliminator. Okay? This fight was in Las Vegas. Took place on March 23rd, 1979. Scott Lido, yeah, that's coming up, Joe. Scott Lido, yeah, we're coming to it, yeah. Ernie Shavers, yeah. March 23rd, yeah, that was a good one too, Joe. Scott Lido. March 23rd, 1979. Shavers took Norton out in the 1st round, right? And they always said that Norton had trouble with hard punchers, like a George Foreman or Ernie Shavers, and later on when he fought Jerry Cooney. But Norton always denied that. You know, he said he was past his prime when he was stopped by Shavers and Jerry Cooney. But it was the word out on Norton was he had trouble with hard punches. Okay. And he got stopped early by Foreman, Shavers, and Cooney. I think Foreman got him in the 2nd, and Shavers and Cooney got him in the 1st round. So it might be something to that. But Norton always denied it. He said when he fought Shavers and Cooney, he was past his prime. You know, he didn't have an excuse for Foreman. He just got caught, I guess. Foreman got him with that uppercut and staggered him, and he never recovered. And then he dropped him 2 more times, and the referee stopped it. Yeah, because he was in deep trouble in that fight. Yes, he was. There's Hardcore Boxing News. Jay Hardcore in the building. What's up, Jay? Talking about the life and career of Ken Norton, the fighting Marine. Yep. And me and Ken Norton did the same job in the military. intercepting foreign communications. Ken Norton was a Morse code operator, the da, diddy da, I had to copy it down. But I said, nah, I had equipment intercepting. I would print it out on the computer. But I knew Morse code. I used to know it. Yes, I did. I used to know that Morse code. They hardcore hashtag JBT, that is. Yeah, and Ken was a boxer in the Marines. That's where he picked it up. Jay Hardcore's grandfather was a boxer in the Army. Yep. Told you my wife's story. My wife's father was a boxer in the Army. He got knocked out in his first fight, and his final record was 0-1. After that first knockout, my father-in-law said, that's it for me. We had a record of 0-1. That's more than me, though. I'm 0-0, so he did get in there. But Scott Liddell, here we go, Joe. Scott Liddell. Next big fight with Scott Liddell. Oh, okay, I went backwards. I always do that at some point in every show. Let me see. Shavers. This should be Scott Liddell. It is. It's Scott Liddell and Ken Norton. Okay. Okay. Ken Norton and Scott Liddell. Now, he fought to a split draw with unheard but durable lower ranked contender Scott Liddell at the Met Center, Metropolitan Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, Norton was dominating the fight until he got injured when he took a thumb in the eye in the 8th round, which immediately changed the fight. And Liddell rallied from that point, and Norton became decidedly fatigued. He went down 2 times in the last round, and that's what resulted in the draw. Now, Norton fell behind on one scorecard, right? Kept his lead on the other one, and dropped to even on the third. The unofficial AP scorecard was 5 rounds to 3. 5 rounds for Norton, 3 rounds for Liddell, 2 draw. It was a 10-rounder. They had 10 rounders then. They had 10 rounders, 12 rounders, and 15 rounders then. But after the Boom Mancini and Dooku Kim fight, where Dooku Kim died in the ring, that's when they went to 10 and 12. Title fights became 12 rounds. Okay, no more 15 rounders. But a couple more after that, but not too much longer after that. They went to 12. But at this time, they had 10, 12, and 15. Okay, everybody punching on the appreciation button for me. You know, the appreciation button in the JBT is the like, and I would appreciate it if you hit it. They're not looking right, but that's okay. Maybe everybody don't appreciate the show today, but that's okay. Let me continue. I'm still gonna finish. I ain't like that. My likes ain't right, but I'm still gonna finish this. How about that? Kind of guy I am. Okay, Tex Cobb was next. Randall Tex Cobb. Now remember, after the Randall Tex Cobb and Larry Holmes fight, that's when Howard Cosell said he was through with boxing. He stopped commentating and everything because Holmes beat Cobb up pretty good, but Cobb lasted 15 rounds. He just wouldn't quit. And Howard Cosell said boxing was ridiculous, putting somebody in there that overmatched, and he had nothing to do with boxing after that. But this is Ken Norton and Tex Cobb. Now, after the Liddell fight, Norton was 37 years old. And it was time for him to retire from boxing. But not satisfied with the way he had gone out, he came back to the ring. And at that time, Randall Tex Cobb was undefeated, right? And the fight was in Texas, November 7th, 1980. Okay? Now, this fight was, I lost my place. I was trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. It was in Texas, where Cobb is from, right? November 7th, 1980. There it is. This was an all-action back-and-forth fight. And Norton got out of there with a split decision. Referee Tony Perez and Judge Chuck Hassett had the fight in Norton's favor. And the other judge, Arlen Bynum, gave it to Cobb. They still had referees scoring fights at that time. But finally, they decided to take the referee out of the score and let him just concentrate on the fight. You know, he got enough refereeing the fights before I had to worry about scoring it too. But at that time, yeah, they were still doing it. They would have 2 judges, not in all fights, but sometimes 2 judges and the referee. Sometimes they would have 3 judges. But yeah, that fight, the referee was involved. And the referee and one judge gave it to Norton, and the other judge gave it to Randall Tex Cobb. And in the March 1981 issue of the Ring magazine, Norton was still one of the world's top 10 ranked heavyweights at that time at 37 years old. Okay? And now we're coming up to his final fight of his career. Okay? Which was, it was after Tex Cobb. It was Big Jerry. Okay? Now, there wasn't too many of those big, giant heavyweights back in them days, but Jerry was one of them. I think Jerry was like 6'7". But he didn't weigh no 280, 300. I think Jerry was like 225, something like that, normally, right? Yeah. So instead of retiring, he didn't want to go out like with that draw over Cobb the way he went out. He decided to have one more fight. There's Arn Tiger, son of God, in the building. What's up, Arn Tiger, son of God? How are you today? He says, Ken Norton, senior, one of the top 5 great heavyweights, top 10 greatest heavyweights of all time. No doubt, Arn Tiger, son of God. Good to see you. Arn Tiger, SOG in the building. And there's Melanin Queen 27 coming in. She got the Cash App in there where you send that $10. You got 2 more days. Just 2 more days to get in the raffle to get that big 55-inch color TV. There it is. Melanin Queen, just read Melanin Queen's comment there. $, JBT Network, all caps, 1. Okay? Win the TV. Or just to support the JBT Network. You're supporting a great organization. Okay? Just send $10 for the TV or whatever you can spare just to support the organization. Salute Melanin Queen 27. And also Arn Tiger, son of God, in the building. Salute. This is Arn Tiger, son of God, first time. I hope it ain't his last time. Let's finish up this Ken Norton profile. Then we're going to have some link time at the end. Okay? Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Okay. Now, coming to his final fight was against Randall Tex Cobb, excuse me. Jerry Cooney. Big Jerry. Okay. And yeah, there they are. Ken Norton and Jerry Cooney on the screen. Right. Now he should have retired because he was 37 years old. He had taken a beating during his career. He'd been in a lot of tough fights, man. George Foreman, Ron Lyle, Shavers. He had been in some tough. The Cobb fight was a tough back and forth fight. Larry Holmes, running some barn burner slugfest, man. But he came back. He didn't like the way he had that draw with Cobb, so he came back for one more, right? And he, on May 11th, 1981, at Madison Square Garden, he stepped into the ring with top contender Jerry Cooney. And like Cobb, Cooney came into the fight undefeated. Okay? Now, very early in the fight, Norton was buckled by Cooney, right? And he took a series of big punches from Cooney in his corner before Tony Perez stepped in to stop the fight just 54 seconds into the first round. Yeah, Big Jerry just jumped right on him, man. And Norton Ken only lasted 54 seconds. And he was slumped against the ropes when the referees got in and stopped it. And that was his last fight. So probably the one against Cobb should have been his last one, okay? He was talking about retiring after the Cobb fight, but he didn't want to go out like that, so he came back for one more. Came back for one too many, right? And first round technical knockout, he retired after the fight. And he turned to charitable pursuits. Now what I want to do, I want to look at Ken Norton's boxing style, okay? Let's look at his boxing style. Now, he was a forward-pressing fighter, and he was notable for his unusual, there it is right there. Joe Frazier used to do that style some too. Unusual crab-like cross-arm defense, okay? Now, the fighters that use this style are often called inside fighters or swarmers, and Crowders. That's when I did the show on that, yeah. Or pressure fighter. Now in this stance, his left arm is positioned low across the torso, see it? And his right hand's up by the right or left ear. It's a little lower right now, okay? And when under heavy pressure, both arms were brought up high, crossed at face level, while leaning forward, covering his head and leaving little room for his opponent to extend his arms, okay? Extend their arms. And this guard was also used by boxers Archie Moore, remember? Tim Witherspoon, and Joe Frazier, right? And Norton would also bob and weave from a crouched position, and he would fire well-placed heavy punches. And he was best when he was advancing unconventionally, dragging or sliding his right foot behind him. He used to rely on immense upper body strength to deliver his heavy blows. Now, by comparison, most conventional boxers have elbows in at the torso, with forearms vertically parallel to each other, right? And the gloves being near both sides of the face, driving off their rear foot to deliver power punches. But Ken used to drag his foot behind him. He didn't drive off like most conventional boxers did. Now, Angelo Dundee wrote about him. Norton's best punch was the left hook. Now, many others thought it was overhand right. Yeah, that third fight, he was piecing Ali up the overhand right. He couldn't miss that overhand right in that third fight against Ali. It's a wonder Angelo said the left hook, but yeah, that third fight, that overhand right was doing damage. Really won the fight for him, but he didn't get the decision. Now, in a Ring Magazine article, Norton said that a right uppercut to Jerry Coy was the hardest punch he ever recalled landing. Okay, let's look at some awards and some of the recognitions that we're not to that yet. That's Ken Norton Jr. I jumped too soon. That's older Ken Norton right there. There he is. Now, some of his awards he received. Now, he was inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame in 1989. And like I told you, went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1992. And in 2004, he was inducted into the United States Marine Corps Hall of Fame. In 2008, he went into the World Boxing Council, WBC Hall of Fame. I didn't even know they had one. WBC got their own Hall of Fame. Okay, told you I'm learning too. Now, the 1998 holiday issue of Ring Magazine ranked Norton number 22 among the 50 greatest heavyweights of all time. I would have had him a little higher than that, man. 22, come on, Ring Magazine. Now, Norton received the Boxing Writers Association of America J. Nile Trophy for Fighter of the Year in 1977. Was that the Ron Lyle fight? Norton also received the Napoleon Hill Award for Positive Thinking in 1973. That's the book Napoleon Hill was the book he read that he said changed his life. And he received the award in 1973 under the same writer's name. In 2001, he was inducted by the San Diego Hall of Champions into the Breitbart Hall of Fame, honoring San Diego's finest athletes, both on and off the playing field. Norton was also inducted into the California Sports Hall of Fame in 2011 because he made San Diego his home, remember? From Illinois, but he made San Diego his home. And he did some acting, remember? Mandingo. Did a little acting. Let's look at his personal life before we shut it down. Now, we're gonna have like 30 minutes of link time. The link is for anybody that wants to come up. And yeah, Iron Tiger. Yeah, Iron Tiger's in here. Anybody who wants to come up and say their say. Yeah, the likes are going up some now. That's where they're supposed to be. Oh, my little rant. Oh, thank y'all. Okay. Now, personal life. touch on that right quick. Now Norton was married 3 times. He had 4 children. Now, prior to his first marriage, he had a son named Keith. He married Jeanette Henderson in 1966. He was still in the Marine Corps when he married Jeanette. Now, the marriage lasted until 1968, 2 years, and it produced Ken Norton Jr., the football player. Remember him? From your team, Jay, Dallas Cowboys. But he did go to San Francisco too, but he had his best days with the Dallas Cowboys, Ken Norton Jr., right? And that was from the Jeanette Henderson marriage. Produced football player, and he's now, I don't know if he's still coaching, but he was a former coach, Ken Norton Jr. He was like a linebacker defensive coach in the NFL. He probably still is on one of those teams. Now in 1977, Norton married Jackie Halton, who also had a son, Brandon, from a previous marriage. Now Jackie gave birth to daughter Kanisha in 1976, and son Panay John in 1981. They were married for over 24 years before they got divorced around 2000. Then around 2012, he married Rose Marie Conant. Okay, and I believe he stayed married to her until his death. Yeah. Now Norton was twice voted Father of the Year by the Los Angeles Sentinel and the Los Angeles Times in 1977. Yeah. And to quote Norton from his biography, Believe, Journey from Jacksonville, Illinois, not Florida, Jacksonville, Illinois. All the titles that I've ever been privileged to have, the title of Dad has always been the best, Ken Norton. His second son, Ken Norton Jr., played football in college at UCLA, had a long, successful career in the NFL, Dallas Cowboys, and San Francisco 49ers. Most known for Jay Hardcore's Dallas Cowboys. Okay? Football getting ready to come back around, too. Training camps be open in a matter of weeks, maybe like next week. Yeah. In tribute to his father's boxing career, Ken Norton Jr. would strike a boxing stance in the end zone each time he scored a defensive touchdown. And then he would throw a punching combination at the goalpost pad. I know Jay remember that. I remember that. Remember Ken Norton Jr. when he got a interception, fumble, return or something. He would do that boxing stance and then would throw a combination at the goalpost. Yeah. Now, his son, Keith Norton, was once the weekend sports anchor for KPRC. Oh, my big freak. Oh, bear with me for a minute. We're going to finish this. My fingers hit the thing. We're talking about, final thing is his other son, Keith Norton. There we go. His son, Keith Norton, was once the weekend sports anchor at KPRC in Houston, Texas. He followed his father in serving in the Marine Corps. Keith graduated U.S. Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, October 1987. 2nd Battalion Hotel Company, Platoon 2080. Norton died at a care facility. Norton died at a care facility in Las Vegas, Nevada, on September 18, 2013. He was 70 years old, and he had suffered a series of strokes in later years. Across the boxing world, tributes were paid, with George Foreman calling him the fairest of them all, and Larry Holmes saying that Norton will be incredibly missed in the boxing world, and by many. He was buried at Jacksonville East Cemetery in Jacksonville, Illinois, where he was originally from. But I think he lived, after he became an adult, his boxing career was mostly in San Diego, California. The life and career of Ken Norton Jr. Okay, hope everybody enjoyed the show today. I enjoyed bringing it to you. It's Friday. I'll be back next week with another week of boxing history. Let me preview it for you right quick. I already know what's happening. Except for Tuesday, I forgot. Now, Monday is the punch of the week. Next week is going to be the combination. I can't even remember what Tuesday. Something to do with dominant. I got a list of the most 20 dominant boxers ever. With something leading into that. Wednesday, show come out of the chat, brought to you by DJ Rush, a history of the corruption in boxing. Got a little piece or the big piece on the mafia's involvement in boxing, the IBC, the sanctioning International Boxing Club, sanctioning body that was run by the mafia. And then I got some of the most controversial judging decisions in history. And like I said, it's not bad judging. No judge, like this fight started between with Shaq and Conceição. That was not bad judging. That was cheating. So it's not bad judging, it's cheating. But we're going to talk about it Wednesday. And then the Boxing in the States series continues next Thursday with boxing in Connecticut. And next Friday, the profile will be the life and career of the Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta. Okay, I'm gonna put the link in. Somebody can come chop it up, or I can keep on. We're going up to the voice at 4 o'clock. The JBT meet and greet is this weekend. You still got time to get in the running for that 55-inch color TV. Okay, you don't have to be present to win it. All you have to do is send $10. And we got people like Big Dre got 4. Melanie Queen got about 4. She might have 5. I gotta check, but at least 4. And Tampa Tommy got 3 or 4. So you better get at least 1. All it takes is 1 to win. Only 1 name's gonna come out. Okay. $. It's pinned in the chat. $. JBT Network, all caps, the number 1. And you're in it. Okay. I didn't get in. I wanted it bad. I got 255. I need a new one. I wanted it bad. And Jay Hardcore told me I could get in it, but it wouldn't be right because I'm collecting the money. And man, I don't know. That'd be a dangerous situation if I won it. I'd suffer some bodily harm up this. So I said, nah, I better not get in it. But somebody's going to win it. And all you got to do is wait. Well, you really get it for $9 because we're going to send you $1 to find the winner. So you're getting a 55-inch color TV for $9. Okay? Can't beat that. And then you watch that big August 3rd card, Bud Crawford versus Madrimov in style. BVO Boxing TV is picking Madrimov, by the way. Didn't you say you was picking Aberdeen tomorrow, BVO? Yeah, Al Booker says Aberdeen has 0 chance. Not even a puncher's chance. Okay? 0. As in nada, zilch. But you got to still give Aberdeen credit because he's getting in there. A whole lot of them will get in there. Connor Ben. Cody Crowley backed out. So give David Aberdeen his props, man. Who knows? You might get that punch in there, But I don't know. If Vila couldn't do it, all that the punches Boots was taken from Vila, I don't think Aberdeen could do it. I wanted to tell Ant or Thomas Hill about there's Thomas Hill right there. Lonnie Lee hashtag JBT is in the building. And Thomas Hill hashtag JBT. Thomas Hill, I wanted you and Ant, if possible, do a breakdown on that. I think it was either Larry Holmes and Ken Norton from 78 or Big George Foreman and Ken Norton. Not Big George. Say Larry Holmes and Ken Norton from 78. Fire fight, man. Very extremely close split decision, man. If y'all can do a breakdown on that, I will come up and help y'all. Just let me know when. Making a request. From our old fight, man. That was a very good fight. Let me know. Big George Foreman and Ken Norton, Larry Holmes and Ken Norton, 1978. Because Big George was only like 2 rounds. But salute Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. Did you just come in, Lonnie, or did I miss you? I'm getting ready to drop the link, though. We'll talk about it. The link is in there. I don't know why I didn't drop it. I typed it in. I set it up. I just didn't hit the thing. But yeah, Thomas Hill. That would be a good one. Yeah. If you and Ed could set that one up. Ken Norton versus Larry Holmes, 1978. Okay. And I will be on the panel because I seen it when it happened. I wasn't there, but what the world is going on? I wasn't. Oh Lord, I'm trying to. Okay, but yeah, Ken Norton versus Larry Holmes, 1978. But salute Thomas Hill. Okay, I'll put it in that chat. You know, that one that me, you, and Ed had. I haven't been in there in a minute, but I'll put it in there. Okay. How come I can't let you know, T? No, but I'll let Ed know. Just messing with you. But salute Thomas Hill. You missed the whole profile, T Hill. Yeah. I didn't have the link set up right. I'm sorry. I'll give it and set it up right now. But I really hope we had a couple new people in here. Like and subscribe, please. I'm pulling up on 800. Trying to get to 1,000. They dropped the monetization requirement to 500, so I was able to do that because it used to be 1,000. But 1,000 subscribers, but they dropped it to 500. So I got that done. And I'm working on my phone line coming soon to Cast Sports. Like now, I would just put the phone line on. But I'm gonna drop the link. Just as good, right? I thought I had it in there, but I didn't. Okay. Set up. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And yeah, it's Friday. But you know, if it's Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock, it's Cast Sports, the box story, and bringing you all that boxing history. You know, the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it and can't get enough of it. You know, boxing, one-on-one, man against man, or woman against woman. Nobody's coming in there and give you no break. That don't happen in boxing. That's what makes it the greatest sport of them all. You get 1 minute, right, in between rounds. And when that bell rings, you either get back and go back out there or you lose. Simple as that. That's what makes it the greatest sport of them all. I knew Thomas Hill was coming. There he is right there. What's happening, Thomas Hill? I can't hear you, T Hill.
I said, you got the bad hands.
There you go.
I'm over here listening to the possible film study that we're going to be doing.
Oh, I thought you had just came in. Oh, you been in just listening? You been a voyeur?
Yeah, I have been.
And you used to be out there listening too. You might be listening.
I had so much stuff else going on that I wasn't able to find anything like that.
Cool. Yeah, that Ken Norton and Larry Holmes in 1978 was a doozy, man. Slugfest for 15 rounds, and it was 143, 142 for two referee and one judge, and the other judge had a 143, 142 for Norton. Two of them headed for Holmes. That's like 115, 113 in a 12-round fight, right? Like 8 rounds to 7. Yeah. That's what made it so good back then, the odd round, you know? 8 to 7.
Yeah, I mean, you need that odd round.
Yeah.
It just allows for draws, man. If you have a draw, something really went wrong.
That's what made it so good, man. Yeah. So we got Chocolatito tonight back in action.
Oh yeah. You know, you want to get back active because his boy Estrada was in there.
Yeah.
Long ago.
Because both of them hadn't fought since 2022. You know, in the trilogy. Hold on 2 years. Trump had told me a while back that Chocolatito was fighting this year, but I didn't know it was this weekend. Wow. That's good. And 2 tomorrow. Isn't Janet back on one of those cards tomorrow?
Of course.
Is it from Las Vegas?
Yeah, he headlines it.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's Las Vegas, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got the other one from Philly. I like Sky Nicholson, man. You ever seen her fight?
I have. She's a pretty fighter. She likes everything to be like neat. the
I
ring.
love her jab. That long, busy jab she got, man, and the footwork.
It's good.
Is nice.
She likes to get rough and rugged. And Scott Nicholson likes rough and rugged.
You're a little bit jarbled, T Hill. Just a little bit jarbled.
So I'm gonna come out and come back in.
Okay. Yeah, Sky is nice. She got that, oh man, beautiful footwork. She moves all around that ring, man, and she's hard to hit. Very good boxer. They'll be calling her boring soon. Now, she was calling out Amanda before Amanda dropped the WBC, but she wasn't ready for that. But Amanda dropped it because the WBC wouldn't sanction the 12 3-minute rounds for women. Amanda said she wasn't fighting no more 10-round 2-minute fight for titles, so she dropped it. And there we go. And
that sound better now.
Oh, you're 100% now. Yeah. Sky was calling out Amanda, but Amanda dropped the belt, but Sky wasn't ready for that yet. No.
Yeah, Amanda, she getting older.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people gonna call her out, right?
Yeah. What happened to her and Katie Taylor? She fighting somebody else. Remember? That was supposed to be this month, wasn't it?
Supposed to be. I think.
I saw her scheduling with somebody else on the Jake Paul card.
Yeah, they don't want her to lose.
Yeah, man.
Amanda's pushing envelopes like she really moving fight game forward for women. She's doing the most for women.
Yeah. And she got 15 years. She started in 2009. Been there a long time. Mm-hmm.
She's been in some wars too.
What'd you say, Tia?
She's been in some wars too.
Yes, she have. Man. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody have to try to call her out because they feel like she's slowing down.
Yeah.
And you get money. I mean, hell, you fight her, you get money.
You're getting paid. That's right. Because Jake is doing a good job for women's boxing over there, man. I don't know why more of them don't get over there with Jake. He getting on the rounds. He had a prospect fight on his last card, 4 rounds, but it was 3 minutes. Yeah. It was 4 3-minute rounds. Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about
her. I know.
Amanda, she like, hey, I wanna be able to sit on equal footing, because how can we ask for equal pay or equal revenue when we don't do the things in the ring that are equal? So she pushing the envelope with that type of thing. Now, granted, because of the demographic and the way the world is, they're never going to get the money that they probably do deserve. But she made money, and I know she and Katie Taylor made a lot of money in that fight. So
yeah, they did.
It almost makes people upset. They feel like they've done more for the sport, and I don't think that you could say too many more people have done more for their sport than Amanda Serrano. So I always give her props, and she always gives you a great fight. Yeah, like you're gonna be entertained whenever she's in her ring.
And she got the longevity. She's been doing it for a long time and everything for women's boxing, man.
Yeah, so she's looking to vindicate herself. Like that last fight.
It was a good move getting with Jake too.
It was.
Yeah, I like what Jake doing. A lot of people don't like Jake, but he's been good for the sport, if you ask me.
I mean, for the women?
Yeah, for the women. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's been
women's boxing.
Yeah. But just what he's doing from his side, like he's just trying to milk the system and get as much money out of it as possible. Yeah. If he really wanted to be serious about boxing, he started fighting some serious boxers.
Yeah, I'm talking about him as a promoter. Yeah. In the ring.
The promoter,
If you're gonna be a boxer, fight a boxer. Leave them MMA guys, old MMA guys alone and fight some prospects. That's where you at.
That's where you at. That's what you should be fighting.
Right.
But if you fight this, he getting knocked out.
Yeah, that's true. And it'll be over for him. He still will have his promoting career though, because he's good at that. He's doing a good job at that, promoting the women's side of it. Yeah. I don't know why he don't have more over there. He got a lot of young women prospects and stuff that he's doing. Mm-hmm. Amanda's the biggest on the really big name. What he got, right? Amanda. Who promotes Katie Taylor? Eddie Hearns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Booker put said he likes Sky. I think she's gonna be the next big thing in women's boxing in a few years. After the Gwoat, Katie, Amanda, all of them go, Sky is gonna be the woman. Like you say, somebody gonna be the man. Sky is gonna be the woman. Yes, she is. No doubt. If she keep winning, she gonna be. And she's in Philly. Jay said he interviewed her. I think Jay said he interviewed Sky when he was up there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah. Well, we grinding down on another week, heading toward the voice of the street. Just Do Boxing coming up next. See what he got going on over there today. I know it's something good. Always. He had the interview yesterday. I think the guy's name was Keith Cologne. Ace had put it in there. I think that's what his name was. Yeah. Prior interview. Anybody didn't see that? Did you see Just Do yesterday?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Good. Yeah, that was real
great
good.
young prospect. That man right there, serious man.
Keith Cologne, wasn't that his name?
Yep, Keith Cologne.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, always something good, and it's coming up in about 15 minutes. Well, Just Do Boxing.
When you hit the road, Cass?
Probably tomorrow. Late.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You in on the TV, right? T Hill?
Yeah, I got one on TV. I mostly put in for somebody to go up there and have fun in the house though.
Yeah, no, if you sent all your money for your dues to the end of the year, I took $10 up and put it toward the TV.
Yeah.
You okay?
You did get the $60 the other day, right?
Yeah. Is that more dues?
Well, no, that was just for the house.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. That's what I thought. Yeah. 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 I got everything. We got almost I think we do have 60 people in there. I think close to it. I think it might be 60. I got to double check, but yeah, it's a whole bunch of entrants. So it was a successful operation, man. Yeah. Next thing is the app, the JBT app. You go on there and see JBT, and you can just pull up anything JBT you want to pull up, you know? Yeah.
That's going to be big. That's going to be real big.
Mm-hmm. Task Force the Box Historian, Hardcore Boxing News, Just Do Boxing, The Voice, The Mighty Rise Podcast, Casuals Corner, BBO Boxing TV, BN Boxing News, Let's Talk Fashion with Remo, Prison Talk with Tommy, The Angry White Man. All that's gonna be on that. That's gonna be a fire app. Yeah,
that's something else.
I didn't forget nobody, did I?
She got hands. Miss Yaya Ali.
Oh, she got hands. I'm sorry. Yeah, she got hands. So, does she do a show or she drops videos?
She said she's gonna do shorts and videos.
Okay. Yeah.
So she get her feet wet.
Okay. Coach dropping some
but for her to talk is not difficult. She deem it right now difficult because it's unknown chartered territory. Yeah. But she go out there and she be getting interviewed.
Okay.
Get people to engage. So she got what it takes to do it.
Hope everybody been checking out Prison Talk with Tommy because he been dropping some fire videos over there, man.
Oh, yeah.
Coach. Yes.
Oh
yeah, tonight is a big night in the JBT too because we got the Friday night hangout followed by the Rise podcast, and then the Angry White Men podcast comes on tonight.
You better believe it.
Yeah, so
right before the gathering too. So
yeah, and then next week on Wednesday, Jay and Banky Pound starts their new thing at 12. So Wednesday's gonna be a big day too because Let's Talk Fashion is also on Wednesday.
Nothing but energy right there.
Yeah, and that's gonna be every day eventually. JBT gonna be hogging up these airwaves all day. Back to 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 back. You know, that's the plan. Yep. That's the plan. Were you here yesterday?
Huh?
Were you on here yesterday?
Yeah, sure.
Did you see that thing about the 75 round fight where they went to jail and everything? That was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The bare knuckles fight.
Well,
1800s. John L. Sullivan and Jake Kilrain.
They did 75 rounds.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And they had an illegal.
I said, I know that the rounds they were carried different back then.
Yeah. They only ended when somebody went down, and if you got back up, it continued. Now the shortest round was 3 seconds, and then they had one round that went on for 15 minutes.
You see what I'm saying? That's a hell of a round. That's a hell of a
the only way it ended, they had a doctor wasn't required to be at fights at that time, but it was a physician at the fight, and he told Kilrain's corner after the 75th round, he said if he went out there one more round, he could possibly die because he was in such bad shape. So that's when they called it. But if the doctor hadn't been there, he probably would have went back out there, you know? Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I mean, where it used to be and where it has evolved to.
Now, yeah. It is, man.
Because in a way, you know, a 15-minute round is crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And Kilrain drank a quart of liquor. I mean, John L. Sullivan drank a quart of liquor during the fight as a fight. But that's what he didn't have water in his corner. He had iced tea mixed with brandy. That was his refreshment in the corner. And the fight was illegal, right? It wasn't supposed to have been going. It was illegal, but the sheriff of the county was at the fight watching. It was real crazy, man. Jay had told me to look that up, and I'm glad it was real crazy. The sheriff was at the fight. He's supposed to have been, even if he was out there watching too.
Yeah. Shoot, that was all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, man. Throughout the annals of time, who watched people combat, oftentimes to the death.
I know.
People versus people versus animals.
Yeah.
You know, people versus forces. You know, they love that type of history. Anything they can take box up.
Yeah. The Romans were bloodthirsty. That was the object of their fights. The winner was the one that was alive at the end of it, you know. Yeah. They used to have spikes and stuff sewn into their gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, think about it. All this stuff stands off of that.
Yeah. And this is what it has evolved into, what we have now. Only bad thing nowadays is just these judges, man. You know?
Well, yeah, I think the judges are one of the bad things.
Yeah, one of them. You're right. And the weight.
That's something.
Yeah. Yeah, the weight bullying, that's bad too. You know.
Yeah, they can easily do away with that.
They can easily address that, man.
Same their way.
That's all.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fight around your weight. Because I mean, I love my young champion Jalil, but man, Jalil, you can't be taking that much weight off to get ready for a fight. Where like you can do it now when you're younger, but you don't want to make a habit of that. And that's the thing, they get into habits of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's a minute.
It's going to start affecting you during the fight, you know?
It'll have an effect later on.
Yeah. Yeah, so, same day weigh-in is the way to go, though. Don't give them time to put all the weight back on.
And then, like I say, with the gloves, especially since we have issues with gloves,
yeah,
you go on and do what they used to do, where the committee kept the gloves until you got in the ring. Glove up in the ring.
Glove up in the ring. Yeah. And you know what I said about the weigh-in? Well, I say when you weigh in, it's right before you make your ring walk. You know, that way you fighting right at the weight you're supposed to be at. Well, put the rehydration clause is in effect, then you can be like 10%, but no more than that. And you weigh in and then walk down there and get in the ring. That way, everybody will be fighting exactly where they belong at. Will be the weight bullying will be history. Be a thing of the past. You know? Somebody, who was it? Old school said Devin would retire if they did. A whole bunch of them probably would. Virgil would probably be at like 160, 168 if they did that. Ortiz. You know, I don't think he's even past 154 right now. You know?
I think he's too. But we'll find out in that next fight. Yeah, we'll find out in that next fight for real.
So is he still on that card in August? T Hill, the August 3rd. Is Virgil still on it? Because I know he's not fighting Tim Tszyu anymore, right?
No.
But is he still on the card?
He will have to get cleared, so it might push through.
Okay. Yeah, because that was a bad cut Tim Tszyu had, man, and you know,
terrible.
I was kind of short. I thought it was when they first. I was like, that just happened, you know. Yeah, just still got it there. Keith Cologne, yeah, that's him. Yeah, that was a fire interview. Yeah. I think the other one was Shakur or something. Eventually, yeah, Flick Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, boxing is crazy, Al Booker. But we love it. It's the only boxing we got, so you know what I mean? We can complain about it though. Yeah.
Also the supplementation.
And the
they
what
need
now?
to get a universal handle on that. Excuse me, as well.
Say it again, T.O.
I said the supplementation.
Oh,
they need to get a universal handle on that as well too. It shouldn't be like
for sure.
It shouldn't be by rigid for sure. It should be more so by the sport.
Yeah. Go ahead, T.O.
Like whatever they deem is necessary to allow to be used in competition, and what's not. They should only use things that do not like get extreme amount of events over your opponent.
Boxing need to get like any other sport, man, like football, hockey, baseball, basketball. They don't have, you can do some rule in one state, but you can't do it in another one. It should be everywhere the same exact rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like every other major sport is, man. You don't have certain rules state by state. It's universal everywhere. You know? That's my big problem with boxing. You got all these different state commissions and everybody. They got their own sets of rules and stuff.
And then you should not be able to pay for your ranking.
No, come on,
another
man.
thing that they got to get rid of.
That's crazy.
Your boy Claggett was like number 15 or 13.
Yeah.
And then right before the fight, he gets moved and elevated all the way to 7. Come on.
All the way to 7. Now, how did he jump all those people and didn't even have a fight?
Didn't even have a fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, they gotta do away with that stuff.
Yeah, magically he got in the top 10. Yeah. But they're not gonna, the bad part is they won't work on this stuff, man. You know? Won't work on it.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah. They want it exactly like it is. But we still see some entertaining fights.
Oh, yeah, we get some entertainment.
Yeah. You know, you gotta do like Tank. Get them up out of there. Don't leave it to the judges.
Him late, my God.
Yeah.
But you know, it's time for Just Do.
Yeah, it's
boys
that time.
To kick in.
We'll get ready. Oh, wow, 3:59. Time flies when you're having fun. But I appreciate you, T Hill.
Always, man. Always.
Be back next week with the punch of the week. Monday is the combination. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in that chat to Ann about that fight, Ken Norton and Larry Holmes.
Oh, we already got it set up. We got it set up.
When is it? When is it?
That I don't know. We were just putting
in. I'm gonna come up there with y'all for that one.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
I saw that one as it unfolded. Yeah.
Oh, you were there? You were live?
No, I wasn't at the fight. I saw it on TV.
Okay.
Yeah, 1978. I was about 18. I'm telling my age now, but yeah, I'm old. Yeah, I was about 18 then. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, T Hill.
We're going to bring 18. We're going to bring it all the way back to you.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know. Oh, I didn't know y'all had already set that up. Wow. Y'all work fast. That's Casual's Corner for you. Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. You got anything else, T Hill?
Yes. Once again, excellent night. Show. Excellent job. Safe travels to you and your wife as you guys go down there and get together with the fam and enjoy yourselves this weekend.
Appreciate you, T Hill.
All right, man. For the chat, man, nothing but love.
All right. Thomas Hill, one half of the Casuals Corner podcast, breaking down everything boxing. And that's another week of Cast Sports is now history. Be back next week. Appreciate everybody. Time for the voice now. But everybody have a great weekend. It's just here upon us. The JBT meet and greet is this weekend, and still got time to get in that drawing. $ JBT Network, #1, all caps. I don't know if I didn't see anything for Just Do Boxing today. You coming on Just Do? I didn't see your upcoming on here. But Just Do Boxing is at 4 o'clock. This is Cast Sports. Everybody have a good day. Appreciate everybody. I'm out.